Hi everyone, I'm at Sally's house today and her pot got sent to the wrong address, so I delivered it today just to make sure she got it, and I've discovered she's got way more waste than one pot. And because of her little tiny garden, we found out that it was too hard to dig a hole in the ground and put a pot in the ground. Let's see if we can remove this just simply. We started to dig and it was way too hard, so I said scrap that idea. Let's do above ground one. So we put this pot in the ground. Now I've disturbed everything. And we've packed up around the outsides because there are holes around the bottom. And we've put it all the, I hate this bark, but we put the bark around it so it still looks nice. And now we have a beautiful pot to put all this waste.
This is backed up waste though. I wouldn't have this every day.
No, but that's good. This is a perfect experiment to show people. And I found a bag of waste over here.
From the Tumbler.
From the Tumbler, and look.
2 weeks worth.
She said the Tumbler was terrible. She couldn't get it to work, but it's got soldier flies in here already. So I'm going to use that in the pot as well. So I'm going to hand this over to Sally now, and she's going to continue videoing while I explain what I'm going to do. Now, okay.
Well, now just get to it. Yeah.
So now I'll get to it. Okay.
Here we have all these things, and we have some excess soil.
So what
that orange is the handle of a trowel.
So just come over here a minute, Sally, and show them inside the pot here. What we also did, we put some of those bark chips in the bottom there. So when we put the pot in here, it's roughly to that level with the outside pot, which when we cover it then, you can't see this, but it's still really easily accessible for Sally. Now we've got all this space around the outside, and that is where I'm going to put all this junk that she has accumulated.
Then we have some accumulated recyclable papers and cardboard and things.
Yeah, we pulled this out of the bin this morning because she didn't know we were going to do this. A biodegradable toothbrush. It'll be interesting to see what that looks like.
Tissues and
a few.
Oh, but it's mainly paper towel, really. I don't really tend to. And that's a biodegradable bag.
Oh well, let's put it in.
There's a company called Food Connect where I get my deliveries from. That's a biodegradable plate.
Now see that? Ideally I would wet that, but we're not going to do it because we've got so much other waste to put in there that it's going to get wet anyway. So we've got lots of little bits of stuff in there. We don't need to...
Wouldn't you break the bag into bits?
No, I don't even bother.
No, you've got the other one there as well.
It will break down when I put all the water in there. So now, Sally has got this enormous amount of waste. Because there's so much waste, I'm actually going to put it around the pot because it's all worm-friendly waste.
Well, this is another biodegradable bag from the organic delivery.
Is this biodegradable too, this bag?
I think so. If you read on it, compostable. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. All right, let's shove it around the outside. So,
and then the bread rolls I tried to freeze, not realising the freezer didn't work.
That's okay. That's all good. So I'm going to pack. This is worm-friendly food we can pack around the outside. I wouldn't normally do this. I would put my paper and cardboard and leaves, but
what, inside you mean?
No, around the outside. I would normally save all the food waste for the inside.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But this is all biodegradable waste, and there's so much of it that I'm going to pack it around the outside here, you see.
Gotcha, okay.
But normally I'd just stick to paper, cardboard, weeds, leaves, but there's no reason why you couldn't do this. However, it will take a really long time to break down because worms are really slow, okay?
That's not going to attract house flies, is it?
Not when you cover it, okay? So this one...
No, but the side bit won't be covered.
No, well, I'm going to fill this up. You just
with leaves, you mean?
Yeah, you just keep watching. So this one is really wet. I'm actually going to put that inside with these. I'm going to put this bread in first.
You're not going to break it up or anything?
No, I don't cut anything up. I don't waste time doing that. It's too much work.
Okay.
I'll put that in here too.
That's yesterday's peelings.
Beautiful.
That was a small amount, actually.
Is that biodegradable?
No.
No, okay, that can go out. I'll put a little bit
and this one's swimming in water already, so it's nice and wet.
These little ones here. Now,
that's mainly hazelnut shells.
Okay. I'm trying to just
that blue one has been filled up quite a while ago. I just topped it up with some spinach odds and ends.
Okay, well, I think we can put a bit of this. Look at that beautiful butterfly.
Aww.
Isn't he gorgeous? Getting sidetracked, Sally. So now this has got some beautiful juice in it, see?
Yeah, I poured some wastewater in there.
Well, that's good, because when you put the water inside the pot with your waste, it wets all this stuff around the outside and makes it really easy for the worms to break it down, even if it's food waste. So we're going to, I think I can probably put most of that in there. And I might just stick, no, I'm going to stick it in here because it's really fermented now. I can smell it. It's quite fermented. So
well, you wait till you get to the this container here.
Oh, okay. Well, this is better
that's the first one I ever did, but we've just popped those bread rolls on the top.
You can smell that now. Can you smell it? It's stinky.
My sense of smell's not so good.
So you might want to just go back a bit so they can see a little bit better.
It's hard with the sunshine.
Yeah. So anyway, this is really...
Oh, I can smell it now.
Yeah, that's stinky, isn't it? But see, all that water that you put in, and I would rinse that out.
We should just get it covered as soon as possible because they might start complaining upstairs.
No, I'm telling you, it won't smell in a minute. It won't smell.
Okay.
So all that water in there will wet all that stuff around the outside, and the excess will go into the bottom. Now we can lock that lid on. Now what I want to do is get this horrid bag here, Sally.
This is 2 weeks worth of Tumbler compost.
Yes.
Complete with maggots.
But the maggots are perfect. We're going to put him inside there. He's going to love that. Look, Soldier Fly Larvae. Now these ones are getting ready to pupate. See how big it is?
Yeah.
But that's okay. We'll stick him in there because when we... Oh, Sally, this is fantastic. Look. I've got to take this lid off.
How are you going to fit that in there?
I'm going to show you. I'm going to put a little bit on top. Okay. Look at those larvae. This is just magic. But in a tumbler above ground, that stinks like hell. So, but in here, you won't smell it. I guarantee you will not smell it. So what I'm going to do with the excess is put it around. We'll leave those little ones in there as a starter. Oh, the pin. Let me take that out.
What's the pin for?
Well, that's just for a bit of fun, really. When you're propagating with the pin, it allows you to put that in there. And let's say you've got the lid on like that, and that's full of soil or something, or leaves or whatever. You can put that in. It makes it really easy to lift up. So that's just a bit of fun. But we don't really need it when you've got the lid up this way. Get rid of those chips. Okay, so...
I thought we'd have the lid the other way just so I can fit as much as I can in because I've got a lot to start with.
You do, indeed you do. This waste is just horrendous. But all these soldier flies in here, they will find their way into the pot. Oh, this is just magic. Because you've got a starter now without even knowing you had a starter.
Oh, that's awesome.
And look at these guys. We might have to just leave them later, otherwise we'll be here all day trying to save them all for right now.
It's going in the rubbish otherwise, in the landfill.
No, don't waste these guys. They're, oh, look at this. This is magical. Way too much waste, Sally. But look at those little guys, see?
I left the bag out so you could... I thought you might be excited about it.
Well, I am excited. It's the best thing since sliced bread to see those little guys.
There's many people who wouldn't agree. But...
That's right. Now look, if you lose a few there, you could probably rinse that out later if you can be bothered. But if you lose a few, it won't matter.
Oh, that's more icky than it looks on the film.
It is, but that's okay. It's all good. We're going to pack it around the sides here.
You can just see the edge of the top of the Compot.
Now, we want, if normally, you've got to kind of pretend like that this section around there is dirt, ideally around the pot.
I see.
So now,
are we going to add the dirt we have here?
I'm going to, yes, the dirt, that's what I was looking for.
Well, we have some
I
good
put
dirt.
My stinky hands on there. So all I want to do is just put a little gentle cover. Are you filming this?
Yes, I was just taking the trowel out. I didn't get icky fingers on it.
All I want to do is put a little gentle cover on this smelly waste, okay? Because we don't want that smell coming out.
We've got good Searles brand time release nutritional potting compost, yeah.
Well, I would save the rest of that for your plants.
Where's the other? Oh, the other soil's underneath these leaves, isn't it?
This one, we've emptied that, but there's still some soldier flies in there we could get
There's
out.
soil under here that we
yeah.
from the ground.
Oh, that's right. We were going to use that, weren't we? Never mind, never mind. We've got the good stuff. Those soldier flies will find their way out because that's not a big heavy layer, okay? Now we're going to put the lid on this way because we have filled it up so much. Now you don't want to cover this, Sally, with dirt on the pot.
No,
okay?
no, it's just leaves and things.
That's where we can do this.
These are leaves we picked up from the tree.
See these big branches here? I would have shoved them around the pot normally, but because you had so much waste, food waste that we had to get rid of, we can't do that. So we'll just, and when I do the leaves, I tend to scrunch them up too, because I find that they'll break down quicker then.
Right.
But you don't have to. You know, it comes down to time and effort. How much time you've got, how much you can be bothered.
You can take it level to the top of the black pot.
Because this will drop down very quickly. You'll be surprised how quickly that'll drop down. We'll save that for another day because you'll find you'll need that within a week to top that up again. It's that fast.
Oh, good.
So,
because I'm making it every day. I eat a lot of vegetables and fruit. Yeah, so.
Well, I do find vegetarians eat a lot more waste and they often need more pots. But this is another way they can do it. However, as I say, normally around the outside, I would use that for my paper and my weeds and things like that. But there's no reason why you can't put worm-friendly food around the outside and keep the other food for the inside. However, if you do that, then you need 2 pots, you see. You've got to have one for worm-friendly food and one for everything else.
So when you're saying everything else, you're talking about the paper recycling,
Meat,
aren't you?
citrus,
I don't
onions,
eat
oil.
meat. I don't eat onions or fish or eggs. Yeah.
Potato skins. There's lots of things that worms don't eat. So you put that
Oh,
on
worms
the
don't
inside.
eat potato skins?
They will, but and say like onions, but the food has to, if it's very acidic, the food has to break down first before they can eat it. And then they take a long time to eat it. But because you're more a vegetarian, I wouldn't put my food waste around the outside. I would put my food waste on the inside.
Right.
I'm only doing this as a way of getting rid of all that excess waste you've got.
Yeah, you've emptied all the pots.
We've got rid of it all, haven't we?
Yeah.
Now, you could rinse this out and save these little guys, really. Like, you don't want to waste these guys. They're amazing. See that little guy there? That's a blowy. Now, you notice there's no blowflies around that, even how smelly that was?
There were just 2 there a minute ago, but that's all.
But that's all the open food, you see? That's all the rubbish that we've got left. And this smells in here. This is a stinky. But in here, no smell. Can you smell it now?
Don't rely on me for smelling, yeah.
I guarantee you cannot smell that. It's as clean as a whistle. So if you put these little guys, I'll see what I can get out because I'm here now with my gloves on. My legs are getting sore.
We need a kneeler pad, don't we?
These little guys will find their way in, or they'll bury into the soil to hibernate, and then they'll turn into a fly, and they will know exactly where to come back and lay their eggs. And I wouldn't be surprised if in a week's time that this is overflowing with soldier flies. But don't worry, they will sort themselves out. So don't panic. If that happens, call me. And basically it just means that just let them be for a while.
They're not the type that come in the house, are they?
No, if they don't bite, these guys, they've got no mouths. When they turn into a fly, they've got no mouth. So they don't bite and they don't hurt you. And
they're the ones with really skinny little legs, aren't they? The whole of them is skinny.
oh, look, you've got a few little other insects in here too, look.
What's that one? Oh,
They're like, who knows, but they're all good in the compost. Just put them in the compost. They're just
we've
other
got
little...
some starters already.
You've got a starter, Sally, that everybody would die for, because this is magic. These guys are just, and there's a little cocky too. Now you'll get some little cockies there, but they're little ground cockies. You don't have to worry about them. They stay in your pot. They don't come in the house. They're not like those big house cockroaches.
Oh, I'm glad you're pulling them out because I'll probably just I don't know if I'll be bothered.
Well, yeah, I just hate wasting them because they're just awesome little guys, and
They're good little compost workers, aren't
they're
they?
unbelievable. And that's, if you notice that waste we took out of here was really mushy, wasn't it? Like it was almost half decomposed anyway. But
It was, yeah. It was quite slushy when I pulled it out of the composter, and it's been probably 3 or 4 days.
yeah, the problem in those above ground composters, they can't drain anywhere. So all that liquid builds up inside the compost. That's why then these guys are not good in an above ground composter.
No, the liquid started oozing out of the little air holes around
Yeah,
the
but
edge
it makes
of
it
the...
stink.
No, it honked. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really did stink.
But in here, you see, it all just goes into the ground. So you get no smell. And if you do get a smell, then you're doing something wrong. That's when you need to call me and say, well, Vicky, this isn't doing what you said it would do. And then I'll either come out and have a look, or I'll ask you what you're doing so I can work out why yours isn't working. Because there's just no way, it's impossible for this to fail. And there's so many of these little guys, they're everywhere.
So did you start this just from your trial and error of trying to find the best type of composter?
Well, I got the idea about in-ground composting from a friend, but it was through trialling all those homemade ones that didn't work that I eventually figured out what made it work. And then I thought, okay, but you can't just go and get an ordinary old bucket and do it. I mean, it'll work to a point, but it won't work quite the same. And the other thing about my pot that's really good is that if it's in a garden bed, you can mow over it with the lid up the other way.
Yeah,
you
I've
can mow
seen
straight
that.
over it.
Yeah.
So you can nourish a tree, but, without worrying about the pot being in the way. But you're getting beautiful nutrients to that tree. You know exactly what you're feeding that tree. It's just all your own waste. So if you're a really organic person, there's lots of these little guys in here, look. But they're harmless. You don't have to worry about them.
Okay, well, I'm glad I've got a natural born starter for the compost.
You have got
Quite a few of them.
I was half expecting you to call me in a week and say, Vicky, I haven't got any soldier flies, what do I do? And look, we don't have to worry because you've got millions of them. I think I've pretty much got everyone out of there, Sally. I think we can safely say that is one there. But that is safe now.
I'm so glad it could be used. Oh, that's why I kept them out to show you.
Well,
So here we have the pot that's
all this rubbish then.
Compot inside a big garden pot I had.
And that now can go, I'll put my gloves in there too. That now can go in the bin, and you can save those leaves for during the week to put on there as this drops, or even that one.
I see, okay.
See?
Yeah.
So now you've got rid of all that
And the
rubbish.
soil that's in the bottom of this one can be put in there as it needs it, as the ground
In the
goes
bottom
back
of
to
here.
normal. Yeah.
Well, you might find that you might run out of, if you haven't got enough waste to put around the outside, you could use a bit of that soil if you want. But by the looks of the amount of leaves you've got, you'll have plenty of waste to keep packing around the outside with all your junk mail or your bills. Just your junk mail, scrunch it up, push it down.
Receipts, shop
Everything,
receipts.
everything.
Right, okay.
I even put, coloured advertising paper in there. You know how you get lots of
Junk mail.
junk mail.
Right.
Yeah. Don't shred it. Just scrunch it up, pack it around the outside, and just make sure when you're collecting your waste that you're putting all your wastewater in with it. So when you tip all that waste and water into there, the water wets all that paper, and then it makes it really easy for the worms to come up and break it down because it's all
Got
wet.
you.
Makes
Right,
sense?
yeah.
Worms can't eat dry food. So everything
No,
has to be
that's
wet.
right. I'll start to keep it wet in the kitchen.
Yes, in this
Have a
container,
sealed container.
when that's full with your, keep that lid on top of it, like the plate on top of it. When that's full with your scraps and water, just come in, just take the lid off, and really, this will have all dropped down. By the time you come to fill this up again, this will have dropped down. So it'll be
Is
really
that because we
easy.
dug the hole, yeah?
Well, because the worms come up and take it down into the soil. And they just keep
I
coming up and
see.
taking it down into the soil. And that's why it keeps dropping, and that's why you just keep topping it up.
I see,
Makes
okay.
sense? And if you were really keen, you could put a little plant on top and make it look like an ornament rather than composter in the garden.
Well, I've only got a small that small oregano just to the left of the comfrey.
Oh, right. Well, it's up to you. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. Make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. This needs a wash now because that's stinky juice. That's really stinky. And so you can wash all of those now. You won't have to have so many containers now to collect your waste. And this can go in the bin.
Got to.
Actually, I'll go and put it in the bin now.